Welcome to Basic Brewing Video. I'm James Spencer.
I'm Steve Wilkes.
Here we are with Senator Wilkes here in from the Senate
I'm not a
floor.
senator yet. I'm just running for office.
Okay, well there you go. But we can't announce now because if we do, you'll have to be taken off due to the fairness doctrine, right? Or
That's right. Well, and I won't get to be on Letterman.
there you go.
So,
Well, we are here to do something that used to be considered illegal. Speaking of legislative matters, I was under the assumption that making an ice beer, and that is freezing a beer and taking the alcohol out, leaving the water ice behind, I was under the assumption, as many brewers were, that it was a form of distillation and was
illegal.
It's
my great legal mind at work.
There you go. That's why he's wearing the suit.
Yep.
But what I found out, I was actually challenged on this on Twitter. I tweeted out there something about, somebody, it was mentioned in an episode, and someone challenged me on it. Said it's not distillation, it's concentration, and it's not illegal. So I said, well, I can't let that rest. So I called the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms.
The feds.
Yeah, and they said, we don't do that anymore. Since 9/11, we don't care about that anymore. So I was referred to the Alcohol and Tobacco Tax and Trade Bureau, where Art Resnick, the Director of Public and Media Affairs, wrote to me, and he said, I described the process that we're about to show you. He said, under TTB regulations, the method used to make ice beer is not considered distillation. Any concerns TTB has about a brewer's method to make ice beer and the amount of ice that is removed is in regard to proper tax classification, which is not applicable to home brewers brewing beer for personal or family use. So there you go.
That's every possible configuration.
Every possible.
There's nothing else to say about that.
Well, I guess that's the federal government's standpoint.
So there could be local issues, but probably not.
So if you're a stickler for that kind of thing, or if you're worried about it, check with your state and local agencies. But
or just don't say anything. That's not. We're not here to give real legal advice.
That's right.
I just play a lawyer.
He's not an attorney, he's just dressed like one.
I just play a lawyer on TV.
So all this came about for, I got an email from Greg, who's in Hawaii now, but was originally from Maine, and said that he used to make ice beer. They would put, he said, extra homebrew, I don't know what's extra homebrew, into a plastic jug and freeze it outside and then bring it inside, turn it upside down, and let the good stuff run out, and then drink that, and that essentially is ice beer. So what I did was I made the same barley wine that I did for the fruitcake, very low hop, malty barley wine, because you got to think when you're concentrating this beer, you're also going to concentrate the bitterness.
Absolutely.
And my beginning alcohol in that was 9.7%, almost 10%. So I put it in my freezer, froze it into a 1-gallon jug. It froze kind of slushy, and I don't know if you've done those margarita kits in a bucket, but you get the margarita mix and you put the tequila in and you put it in the freezer.
I'm ashamed to say I have.
And it's a slush. 2 hours later, we got basically a little more than what you see there.
This is amazing. It's absolutely clear. It has beautiful color.
It's darker than it started out to be, because it's concentrated.
It's concentrated.
And by the way, here's what was left. This is what used to be the ice that was left over. After 2 hours, the ice got solid, and I said, enough.
All water.
I'm going to stop. And I took a gravity reading of this morning, and it is basically water. I mean, the gravity was right at water. The gravity reading of that, and you can, why don't you pour while I'm talking?
Oh, really? Shall I do this?
Yeah. The Arkansas tradition. The specific gravity of that, the ice beer, is 1024, 1.024. The Brix is 17.8 Brix. That's a ton of sugar.
Yeah, it is.
So I don't know how to calculate alcohol in this process. Whoops. That's okay.
Cut.
He's got dropsy. I don't know how to, and you sanitize that on the way up from the floor.
Well, of course I did.
But I don't know how to calculate alcohol in this instance, but you can look, and roughly, we've actually...
Roughlies have ridges.
This is our second podcast for the day. The volumes for these two are about the same.
Yeah.
So you would think that we're doubling the amount of alcohol, so almost 20% alcohol?
At 18. Wow.
So let's taste. Let's stop talking and taste.
I'm very excited about this. The color is absolutely amazing. Very caramely. Mm-hmm. It really looks like a really thick Scotch. Mm-hmm. You know, an island Scotch with a lot of peat.
Have a taste.
Boy, that'll make you happy on a warm night. I mean, on a cold night.
Or
this will make you
night.
warm on a cold night.
Oh my God.
That is really good. That's a spirit. I mean, this is a, you know, if you think about it, when you have a cocktail, unless it's a straight cocktail like a martini that's just pure booze or something neat, most cocktails are about 50%. You know, in other words, you use some booze and you use some cutter.
Right.
So this is a cocktail. This is amazing. So that's just the alcohol, addressing the alcohol. The flavor here is just amazing. It's very caramely. It's very raisiny. It reminds me a great deal of a fine island Scotch. It really, but there's no smoke. It's not smoky, but it has that kind of depth to it that you would associate with that. And the kind of depth you would associate with a really good port, though it's not sweet. This is not a sweet drink.
A cigar would go well with it.
A cigar would go great with this. Yeah, it's like I want to be in a big leather-bound chair with oak paneling and cigars and, you know, like a New York banker drinking this.
Do you get any bitterness from the hops in there?
I do get some, yeah. Not much, though.
But I think it's a proper amount. I don't think you want this to be very bitter.
And
we're drinking it at room temperature, and we're drinking it. I don't think you want, even if you could carbonate it, I don't think you would want to.
No, I wouldn't carbonate this. And I think this is really well balanced. I mean, it's not just about the malt, and it's not just about the hops. I don't get an overwhelming sense of either one, so I think that's a good thing. Mm-hmm. I just think it's terrific. I just think it's an absolutely terrific idea, and I'm glad that you did it.
Well, thank you. It's very viscous.
Yeah.
And all those sugars balances all that alcohol. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think that you would want to drink it in like a brandy snifter.
Oh, absolutely.
Similar to like Utopias or something like that, or you know, some of the I think it's J.W. Lee's Harvest Ales. You know, those very thick, you know, beers. And this is a small batch.
Yeah, this is just amazing stuff. You couldn't drink a whole lot of this.
No.
For
safety reasons.
Yeah, you'd be toasted and you'd probably be sick. But boy, and I think actually warming this up, I really think that bringing this out like a fine brandy would make sense to me. So that's what I'm doing.
Well, excellent. Give it a try.
Yeah.
If it's legal in your locality. Disclaimer.
Oh gosh, this is just terrific, James. I'm just so tickled to live 10 miles down the road from you.
Well, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Cheers. Give it a try.
Give it a shot.
Happy brewing.
Happy brewing.
Come and visit us on the web. At basicbrewing.com, you can find archive lists of both our audio and video podcasts on home brewing. You can also find our DVDs, Introduction to Extract Home Brewing, Stepping into All Grain, Low-Tech Lagering and Decoction Mashing, and our latest edition, Introduction to Wine Kits. And for a limited time, you can find our 2009 Brewer's Logbook, where you can schedule and track the details of up to 50 batches of beer. Drop us a line. We'd love to hear from you. Write to james@basicbrewing.com, steve@basicbrewing.com, or just use the contact form on basicbrewing.com.
Wow.